Ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong, Mr. King the Rebuke. Hey, what's up? What's up? We're on. We're going on.
Whatever we do, change is coming. It's coming with the implosion of our Imperium, and it's coming with the rapid degradation of the ecosystem itself. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. It's how we cope with this change.
Will we respond rationally? Will we learn to see the world with humility? And recreate structures within our own communities for sustainability? Or will we continue to live in illusion? And in a way, it's a matter of awakening ourselves to our new reality and responding to it. Welcome to another episode of absolute mediocrity and terrible writing. It's that show that you watch sometimes with a way too fucking long intro. What is it? Here's my show. Oh, she's barking. Oh, she's barking. One thing easy. The argument that I'm making is when we evaluate tactics, strategies, and actions, the question we ask is, can we create a more horizontal distribution of power or not? I don't know what's possible. We can't know what the future holds, so we ask ourselves in acting according to our consciousness now, whether solace or what we do is a way that others will feel entirely new. Welcome back to another episode of the best worst show on the internet. I'll be your host, Manuel Chavez III, or the third, depending on how you know me. And this is Griftcast IRL, that show that I do on the internet sometimes to make some money, because I'm Poe. Anyways, what's going on? How are you guys doing today? Are you well? I know I haven't been on for a few days because I have been hopelessly addicted to playing Star Citizen. And I know that last video I did was a really long banger, so I wanted to give it time for people to marinate. Yes, marinate. Marinate on the psyops and how we can even find psyops in the fucking video games that we play and realize that, goddamn, this toxic ass streamer community, this toxic ass YouTuber community, these simps or wait, what do we call them? Weak ass hoes that don't even look into anything, just believe anything. I mean, I got more drama on that front that's gonna probably end up coming out, and I guess I'd love to talk about it, but it's like when you're dealing with this many different people and all these interpersonal relationships, the best that you can do is just put out all the evidence, but then do the exact same thing Adventure 1 did and give everybody a really fat pill to swallow. But instead of me just giving them the answers, I told them to go seek them. And you know what? They didn't go seek them, so I had to fucking spoon feed the goddamn shit to them. And I mean, I put my foot down. I'm not giving them any more information. This is your puzzle to solve. It's not up for me, because anytime I ever come out with shit, it ends up getting fucked up, doesn't it? Yeah, it gets fucked up. And it's happened time and time again, over and over and over. But that's all right, though. You know, stay lovey. That is so is life. I don't know what happened. I just do my thing. Either way, shout out to no one here yet. Squidicus, Sewer Guy Rob, weird ass name guy that made a really long fucking video about me. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I saw somebody had posted it in the Discord, and it seems like you have questions. So email me at defango@gmail.com, or, you know, yeah, that's probably the best way, actually. And then I can hook you up with like a Discord, or, you know, my super secret Twitter account that may or may not be at Lost Mudman. You can follow me there. But yeah, it seems like you got questions. I have answers. I don't really have anything to hide about the whole situation. It just, I mean, it pains me because anytime somebody like Timothy Holmseth, you know, dude that's been stalking people for a really long time, is targeted on me and, you know, posting my videos out there, taking shit out of context, I mean, it gets me to the point where I'm like, And then when the dude says that he's in my hometown, Carson City, and, you know, may or may not be visiting me, that means we got the shotty sitting sideways of it right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can hear that, but we're on red alert around here because crazy motherfuckers be doing all these crazy things to your poor guy. And I mean, I don't know if it's because of the Cuban shit or the cicada shit or the Star Citizen Griftcast. God, I just gotta stop fucking with people. I don't know, man. I just want to fly around, blow people up. Jesus fucking Christ. Is that a real bad thing? I don't know. What I do know is that we haven't talked about one of my favorite things to look at, you know, something to really settle the mind into the right. And since it's December, the birth of Christ is coming up. You know, I feel like we should be looking to our spiritual guardians out there to get a better understanding of what we should be doing right now and how we should be viewing the particular time that we're in right now, because it feels like everything bad that just happened, like lockdowns and all that shit, is coming back in a very big way. So, but before we do all that, we'll just, you know, talk about this shit, right? We'll talk about this shit. And hello to Mr. Blacksmith, Meatball, Christina, and Michael E. Hi. Hello. Yeah. Here is the 1111 Progress Group message from the Illawarra district in Australia on October 21st, 2016, but 17 hours ago, they wanted to send it to me for whatever reason. Anyways, the subject is being born in sin. And this was a message received by the late George Bernard, that guy that said he was a midwayer and he could talk to angels or whatever, and there was spirit guardians, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this shit. Whatever. Anyways, this message is coming from Midwayer Chief Butsu, or ABC-22, a very, very interesting character in this whole Galactic Federation or whatever. Chief Butsu, though, I actually met him once, I feel like, when I was on a DMT trip. That shit was fucking crazy. Anyways, we are the Aratna Midwayers, known for our humanness, our sense of humor, and our willingness to drop everything and call on our mortal students. On occasions, play tricks on them. This is ABC-22, Butsu for short, and I'm here today to point out that my friend here has long been in a possession of a certain truth, a logical and escapable truth. Well, yes. However, Until just a few days ago, he did not realize the truth and accurate meaning of what he knew so well. And so I just encouraged him to let me make the point. We need to go back in time almost 70 years when primary school teachers declared that as humans, you are all born in sin and live in sin your entire life. You are sinners. Should I now suggest that what is good for any human is good for all midwayers too? At the time of my young friend disagreed wholeheartedly and rather loudly with the claim that anyone could be born a sinner because babies were new. They were pure and unblemished. Rather soon, some small-town clergy got into the act, and as a result, the youngster began drifting away from his church. There simply was no logic left in the minds of those who attended the Catholic seminary, he thought. And then he told them so. It does take courage to talk down to grown-ups when you are only a little 4 feet tall. He became rather unpopular with some. Not with us, he wasn't. Those who could clearly foresee so much of the future were already teaching him from a young age. Our Dr. Mendoza more often than anyone, but then just a few days ago, as I already said, he arrived at a sudden conclusion and could see the use of, he need, for, yes, the absolute necessity for the lowest of his thinking creatures to be required to dwell in space-time's want, neediness, hardship, and even destitution. For them to live with this, rise above it, eventually perfect themselves in the time, and in this way become his most reliable and trustworthy spiritual warriors. Former humans who have come through planetary life and lengthy merenterial realities simply don't go astray. They are hardened by the tough lives that they have led, and unlike some of the higher echelon citizens, they will not falter at their tasks of governing the future deep space planetary systems and even new universes. It is all seen so clearly now. A concept shown, it glowed and seemed truer than true. He was now living in a sinful environment that would harden his resolve that he aimed for the closest thing to perfection in this planetary life and follow up merentual lives of the future, getting even closer to more advanced rules, mores, and ethics on the way. Paradise would finally teach those of the Earth's, midwayer and human alike, how to run the business of planetary obligations fairly, consistently, and empathetically. But Paradise in all eternity could not offer what Boot Camp Aretna drums into its recruits. In a relatively short lifetime on the planet and during the Mansion World lives. Take care, my brothers. Interesting. Do you believe that babies are born in sin? Well, I don't. Not inherently. But isn't it weird when you look at this from the perspective of an individual, when we look at, what the people that believe that they're angels incarnated on the earth think about, and how they're supposed to be apparently helping us return to that spiritual enlightenment and clarity that's, I guess, has escaped so many of us. I mean, it's kind of crazy stuff, but it does give you at least a careful thought process in the mind of what we're actually dealing with, because I think that, spirituality aside, some people are probably not exactly ready for that type of freedom in this lifetime, I would think. But maybe, I don't know. I look at my life sometimes, and maybe that's why I have such a hard life, right? Because there is something better in the future, but it's not like that shit's gonna ever be over, right? Some people think you just die and then you just go to heaven and that's it. There's just like, you're just in paradise forever. But you know what? Who runs paradise? Who makes the hot dogs at paradise? Who cleans the streets at paradise? I don't fucking know. But you know what? I'm guessing it's probably us. So, yeah. I don't think the angels are doing that shit. They're probably like playing music and harps and shit. I don't know. But what I do know, it's good to at least, take in the messages from these crazy things, because aside from all this other stuff, if you were trying to be the best that you were trying to be, wouldn't you be trying to show it? Or at least living the hard life to make sure that you're steeled to it? I don't know. I feel like a lot of us live really difficult lives in difficult ways, and the best thing that we can do collectively for ourselves is just being open to the fact that, we don't know, but at least it's okay to be morally sound and empathetically available for situations and people. I mean, I like to help create drama and fantasy for laughs, but at the same time, like, I've always been such a straight up individual and shown basically everything, my email accounts, bank accounts, PayPals, whatever, be pretty open and honest. And I think that for a time, maybe some people don't really understand what it means, but when I read this stuff, it's like reading a Bible verse and then trying to see a counterpoint and what some other really crazy people on the other side of the world are looking into. Could you believe that? There's people that actually think that they're midwayers, people that were sent here to live on Earth to help guide humanity, and then they like communicate by these weird messages or whatever. That's like crazy shit, dude. That's just crazy shit. And just diving into this whole situation has only kind of made me laugh because, years ago we started getting these emails when we were investigating that shit. And for whatever reason, there's always pertinent information that seems to be ascribed when we're actually taking the time to take a look at it. If you don't know, now you know. It's all right, though. I mean, I've been like trying to get into all of the different stuff that could be possibly happening, and I haven't even talked about half of this shit, but I feel like there's just been so many weird little notes and tits that's been coming out that have just kind of made me like, you guys remember in 2017 when we were investigating the Seth Rich conspiracy theory and people were talking about a laptop, Seth Rich files? Who spoofed the Seth Rich files? Fuck, does that video still exist? Oh my god, it still fucking exists. Anyways, you know what? I should have just made this I just need to make this the fucking intro. Bring it back. Just bring it back, Defango. Nobody gives a fuck anyway.
My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an
Do you remember this shit?
journalist.
You guys remember this shit?
Going down. Oh, fuck.
That's right, H.A. Goodman. Some shit is going down. We are entering the danger zone again.
To ask people to make peace because...
Who is spoofing
The Seth Rich files. Anything could be in there.
Anything could be in there.
It's fucking coming back, bro. You thought it was over. I thought it was over. Everybody thought it was over. Fucking back, dude. Can't get out of this. I can't get away from this shit. I didn't want to solve a murder. I didn't think I would solve the murder of the conspiracy theory. It's not my fault. I didn't spoof any files. I didn't start the pandemic. Fuck you. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Anyways. So, it looks like that word that you usually don't want to talk about on the good old air YouTube, Seth Rich. Anyways, Seth Rich's laptop. Seth Rich's laptop. I thought that didn't exist. To be turned over by the FBI. Judge rules. What the fuck? Are you shitting me? You gotta be shitting me. You can't even. Don't even want to hear it. FBI. I don't want to hear it. Any of you. This is bullshit. That's all I gotta say is this is fucking bullshit. It is bullshit. I can't even believe I'm fucking reading this right now. What the fuck, bro? censored, deleted on fucking social media, called a notorious internet provocateur, a hacker, a bad man, all the fucking shit for saying this shit. And it's fucking real. How many fucking times, bro, is this gonna happen? How many times am I gonna just get bent over a barrel? It's fucked. Only for everything that I said to be exactly what it's supposed to be, and I wasn't making anything up. Fuck. I hate this shit. I hate everyone. But anyways, a judge ordered the FBI to turn over the laptop that they had, that they said that they didn't have, that belonged to this guy named Seth Rich, who also worked for the DNC, I guess. And yeah, that's what it is. Texas Judge Amos D. Mazant ordered a timeline for disclosure of information on Seth Rich's personal laptop, his work laptop, the DVD and tape drive within 14 days of the issuance of the Memorandum of Opinion of Order, which happened on Wednesday, which is a couple of days ago. So it means we got like 12 or so days left till we're going to, I guess, like figure out when we're finally going to actually see some information on that so we can finally finish the timeline, because, you know, everybody told us that this shit didn't exist. The FBI said they didn't have this shit. We don't know where it is. Why do you keep fucking asking us about it? Don't you got some pandemic shit to worry about or whatever? Well, it looks like we might actually be getting a little bit of closure, unfortunately, for like the families and stuff like that who don't want to hear anything, who haven't wanted to hear anything about this. It's one of the main reasons that they had to settle the case with Ed Batowski that I got deposed in, is because, well, my expert skills and usage of live streaming basically made it so that their case was completely untenable, because they should have not been going after Ed Batowski. They should have been going after Cy Hirschdale and Ratner, because they're the originators of the conspiracy, if people weren't fucking aware. And I don't know, the whole spoof the files thing, that's connected to Jason Goodman when they tried to throw Guccifer 2 files out as belonging to this guy and basically like running a psyop. Yeah, that's what they were doing. They were running a psyop. And then they try to blame it on me like I was a dumb patsy. That really didn't fucking work for them now, did it, dumb fucks? How'd you get beat by a fat, ugly bastard with the computer? Like, you got owned by this. I know that sucks for you. Sucks for me too. Welcome to the suck. Anyways, it's been years. I don't like, harping on this at all. I mean, we've beaten this story into a submission so many times. And I mean, at this time, I don't even really care what's on his fucking laptop, to be perfectly fucking honest, you guys. I don't care. Because it's not like we're going to be able to get it, go look through it, or have access to any of the shit that might actually be able to sue something. Because, I mean, if anything, it was all on his Gmail or something else. And I mean, it kind of makes me wonder where Kim.com and some of these other shitballs are on this particular situation, right? Like, what happened to those dudes, huh? What happened to them? I don't know what happened to them. I don't know at all. But I'm sure they're probably going to be saying a lot of this. And I mean, this is going to bring up a lot of feelings. Yes, feelings. And a lot of people that, probably don't want these types of feelings to be talked about, but at the same time have a lot of other people that we're going to be talking about. And I mean, it's kind of crazy because it's been a battle of information between the FBI and Ty Clevenger. And Ty Clevenger's been the one that's finally been able to get this stuff done. And it all started with the Freedom of Information Act request. And I guess, now it's actually going to be happening. So, Ty Clevenger actually posted that shit. And he was like, here's the order requiring the FBI to start processing records from Seth Rich's personal laptop. I reached out to Jim Jordan, weaponization subcommittee late in August. So far, they're not interested in this at all, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't be interested in this at all. But I mean, the only interesting point here I see in this entire situation is the fact that the laptop actually exists. The laptop existing doesn't preclude any type of information saying that there's going to be clear evidence that Mr. Rich gave anybody any files or did anything. I mean, but it is going to at least tell us that, there's a possibility, right? It's not like that Hunter Biden laptop where everybody was posting all the fucking images and shit. I mean, if that starts happening, I think that'd be a little crazy. But with all clarifications and everything aside, it's going to be nice to finally actually get some materials associated to this, because it's not very often that the FBI is made by a judge to fucking actually do some shit because they be sandbagging harder than a sandbagger's ever sandbagged before. So the order is real. It's a real case. The district magistrate judge said, with exceptions to Seth Rich's work laptop, DVD drive, and temp drive, and the compact disc containing Seth Rich's personal laptop, which are responsive to Huddleston's FOIA request, the court finds the government properly withheld or redacted information responses to Huddleston's requests in accordance with FOIA attempts. It is therefore ordered with the defendant's FBI motion for clarification or an alternative reconsideration of the memorandum opinion and entered September 29, 2022 is denied. It is further ordered that the plaintiff's motion for clarification and memorandum and opinion is ordered and entered on September 29, 2022 is to be granted in part and denied in part. It is further ordered that the government shall produce a Vaughn index addressing the information it possesses on a compact disc containing images of Seth Rich's personal laptop that is responsive to the plaintiff's FOIA requests. It is further ordered that the government shall produce a Vaughn index addressing the information it possesses on the Seth Rich's work laptop, the DVD and tape drives, blah, blah, blah. The Vaughn Index. Hey, I know somebody with that last name. That's weird. What the fuck? What the hell is a Vaughn Index? Let's see. What is a Vaughn Index? Vaughn indices are intended to permit a court to make a rational decision about whether the withheld material must be produced without actively viewing the documents themselves. Right. Got it. So what it means is that we're not actually out of the woods yet. It just means that now that we know the laptop exists, the government has to cough up basically a table of contents of what seems to be on the drive, and then they're going to have to go over each individual piece of it and basically say yes, no, maybe, redacted, so on and so forth. So they're going to get to decide. So we'll get a listing of what is there, and then they get to decide what is there and what they're actually going to show. So, I mean, it's a win, but a little baby win. But it's a win, at least so that we can finally understand, because if we get a Vaughn Index, we might actually be able to see, I don't know, a bunch of files sitting on a desktop, root directories, whatever, that show us, what was at least could potentially be there. And then once we get that listing of what could potentially be there, then you can request more FOIAs to actually get those individual pieces of information, because slowly but surely what they've had to do is whittle them down. At first they didn't know how to ask for what they had. Well, they knew kind of how to ask, but they wouldn't give them anything. And over consistent and repeated attempts and refining requests, they've finally been able to get a listing that's going to open up the floodgates for them, sort of, right? Like, they're still going to have to file all the requests, so that we know they're going to have to do it. But here we're just like, well, we might actually be able to see something over here, which is going to be nice. And now I got to go check on my suit. Brown. Been working on my mother stock. Good as fuck. Anyways. So, interestingly enough, though, that is not the only Seth Rich information that is actually available to us today. Apparently, shockingly, it was reported, I guess, on November 20th. I don't know how I missed it. It's because I totally keep up on this shit. Not. Fox News quietly rehires editor responsible for the Seth Rich debacle. What? Wait a minute. Are you talking about? Wait, who did they fucking rehire? Fox News has quietly rehired the man earlier this month Confider has learned that Fox News digital boss Porter Berry bought back former deputy manager editor Greg Wilson to once again oversee the conservative cable giant, except for as a weekend managing editor. Oh, he was the guy that pulled the trigger on the Fork story that basically claimed Rich, the Democratic staffer who was murdered in 2016, had leaked thousands of emails and documents to WikiLeaks. And besides suggesting Russian hackers didn't steal the emails during the election, the story was also giving credence to blah, 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 blah. So yeah, remember, it was the Russian hackers that don't exist that did it, and it was totally not this guy or whatever, for, news sake, at least. That's what they say. Although, for them to have all that information and not be wanting to give it up, I feel like we're getting right there. Just a little bit longer. Interesting, though. The machine, the cogs, have begun to spin again on this particular story, and it just makes me wonder what the reasoning behind it is. Why did they decide to start doing it now? Why bring it back, if at all? Can't we just sweep it under the rug and never talk about it again? And oh, no. There's people that are just always going to be talking about it. Always going to be talking about it. So, yay, the laptop copies and shit do exist. And we might get a table of contents in the next couple of days. All right. Still like 2 years before we actually get anything good. And that sucks. But you know what? That's just me giving you a little dose of realism for the best, worst show on the internet. Anyways, in other news, according to the Post-Millennial, it's been revealed that an inmate has been charged with the stabbing of Jared Chauvin. He stabbed him 22 times, and he was an FBI informant, bitches. Oh my God, that's right. This guy got stabbed 22 times in the Federal Bureau of Prisons in Tucson, Arizona, bro. That sucks. His name was John Tasak. He's aged 52, and he became an FBI informant in 1997. And I guess, for whatever reason, he had a mental break of some kind, and he went at Derek Chauvin. They say that John Tasak, age 52, was charged with an attempted murder of allegedly stabbing Chauvin, became an FBI informant in 1997, and he was sought out by the FBI when he was a member of the Mexican Mafia prison gang, and he helped federal authorities with an investigation that resulted in the indictment of more than 40 Mexican Mafia members and associates. However, he was dropped as an informant after prosecutors say he admitted to extorting money, dealing drugs, and authorizing assaults while receiving monetary compensation as an informant. And in 2001, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to racketeering and conspiring to kill a rival in a prison-based gang. And at the time of his sentencing, he slammed the FBI and told the U.S. District Court Judge A. Howard Metz, "I didn't commit those crimes for kicks. I did them because if I wanted to stay alive." I told that to the FBI agents, and they say, "Do what you have to do." Whoa. Now, he is allegedly admitted to stabbing a former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd during an arrest in May of 2022, and spoke with FBI agents following the attack on Chauvin. Prosecutors have claimed that Tasak later disclosed to FBI agents that he had been contemplating assaulting Chauvin for approximately 1 month due to the fact that he is a high-profile inmate, but denied intending to murder him. Oh, wow. He stabbed him 22 fucking times and he wasn't trying to murder him? Yeah, that fucking checks out for sure. Tasak informed agents that he planned to attack Chauvin, age 47, on Black Friday, the day following Thanksgiving, as a symbolic nod to the Black Lives Matter movement and the Black Hand, emblem affiliated with the Mexican Mafia gang. Chauvin was sentenced to 252 months in prison with credit for time served, and he pleaded guilty in federal court in December of 2021 to willfully depriving Mr. Floyd of his constitutional right to be free from the use of unreasonable force by a police officer, resulting in Mr. Floyd's bodily injury and death. Well, dude, that's the story. I mean, FBI paid informant, kills a fucking guy, or tries to kill a guy in prison, Black Friday attack, Black Lives Matter movement, Black Hand. I mean, dude, somebody hired this guy to fucking take him out. I mean, how else can you fucking... Somebody hired this dude to take him out. Like, Black Lives Matter Friday? That's hilarious, P-Dog Night. That's fucking funny as fuck. That's fucking funny as fuck. Anyways, honestly, I'm kind of, like, a little bit shocked at this one, I would have to say. I mean, it sucks for Chauvin. I mean, we knew that he was going to get fucked up in the hospital, but god damn. Now we just got to figure out. I don't think that we could ever figure it out, but, you know, my analytical brain immediately says, this guy definitely got hired or paid or offered something like a reduced sentence or whatever to kill this guy. Or, you know, maybe they were using some voice to skull technology. I don't fucking know, dude. It just seems like, seems pretty sketch, bro. Like, if you're already in prison for 30 years, you try to kill a guy, you're just going to be in prison for the rest of your life, probably. So, yeah, it just doesn't, it's not checking out. It doesn't make sense. It makes sense. I mean, we need to actually follow along, maybe do some more research on the background of this guy, because, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he all of a sudden got moved to different prisons, and then all of a sudden just got disappeared into the system, only to be a free man later on. Free man later on. Who really knows? Who really knows? And hey, what's up, Theta Naya? Nice to see you out there in the chat. And hello to Virginia Olsen. I see you over there too. I should actually throw a couple more shout outs out there. Nice to see you. CV as well. It's always a pleasure. Got some trolls in the chat. You guys can go eat my asshole. How you doing? What is this guy? G. Cripson. Nice to see you. What's up, Admiral Obvious? Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Just nice to have a lot of you guys over here in the chat. Feels like, you know, 2017 all over again, except for I don't make any money and I'm eating soup and I hate soup. Well, I don't hate soup when I fucking make it. I make some good ass fucking soup. I ain't fucking know, dude. That shit's been fucking simmering and fucking congealing and for days on that fucking stove. I just keep adding shit into it, making the broth better, then straining it, and then just keeping it going, bitch. Right now, I got like it's going to be some gold. It's going to be what we call kitchen gold, bitch. Kitchen gold, bitch. Whatever. In other, I guess, sadder news, retired Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman on the Supreme Court ever, has died at the age of 93. Oh, me, my. Wow, we got people dying. I hate it when people are dying. But yes, good old Sandra Day O'Connor died in Phoenix of complications related to advanced dementia and respiratory illness. And they mourned her dead. A daughter of the American Southwest, Sandra Day O'Connor blazed trails. Our historic trail is our nation's first female justice, Roberts said in a statement issued by the court. She met that challenge with undaunted determination, indisputed agility, and engaging candor. And in 2018, she announced that she had been diagnosed with the beginning stages of dementia, probably Alzheimer's disease. Her husband, John O'Connor, died of complications of Alzheimer's in 2009. What a sad day. What a sad day. I mean, at least we're not going to have to worry about getting another Supreme Court justice and having that whole mishigash, because I don't even think that our political landscape could probably take that shit right now. But thinking about it, dude, you know, they have some stuff that you should know about her. Besides, you know, being the first woman to serve on a high court, she was known for unwavering voice of moderate conservatism. She died of complications related to advanced dementia and respiratory illnesses on Friday. In 2018, she announced that she had the beginning stages of dementia, likely Alzheimer's. And the Senate made her the first female justice on the Supreme Court by a tally of 99-0 in 1981. What little opposition she did face was over a record on abortion, which she had earlier served on the Arizona Senate. So, I mean, you got to think about it. It's a sad thing. Outlived, dude. She was 93, bro. 93. Bone broth doesn't have melted bones in it, Sherry. Bone broth is where you remove all of the marrow from the inside of the bones. I mean, bone meal is what you're thinking of. That's what comes from the bones. That's different. I mean, it's interestingly enough, but to be perfectly honest, I've actually met this lady before many times in my life. She was a good friend of my grandfather, and just really sad that she's gone because she was a nice lady. I think she was a nice lady. Definitely not somebody that you would ever expected to be like a Supreme Court justice or anything. And me being a little kid, I never really worried too much about that stuff. But it's really interesting to see how these family members and, like how familial connections come out because, I'm from Arizona. My grandfather was deep into politics. Is good old George Uribe. And he had a lot of friends with a lot of interesting places. And, my grandma used to be really good friends with her. They'd have like lunch and shit together. It's really sad. Real sad. But hey, sometimes you just like gotta live life and realize it. When you see people, at least, you're just like, oh yeah, that person's a fucking Supreme Court justice. They're at your grandpa's house, eating Thanksgiving dinner with you. It's a really interesting experience, I guess you would have to say. But then again, my grandfather was a great guy. I still feel like I've let him down. Like I should be that guy with all the pictures of all the celebrities and politicians all over the wall so he could remember all that stuff. But then in the end, interestingly enough, my grandfather also died due to complications and stuff. He had Alzheimer's. He couldn't remember shit. He saved life for a really, really long time, but I think, what was it that finally got him? I think it was actually a heart attack, combination heart attack and stroke. But you know what? He lived to be 76. He was a great guy. But I can't believe this old bitch outlived her. God damn! What the fuck? And dude, she smoked cigarettes, bro. She drank, bro. This bitch outlived us all. She outlived us all. Anyways, I don't want to, cry or whatever. But, it's sad. Sometimes you actually know somebody and you're just like, you fucking find out that they die on the news and you're just like, I haven't seen that person in a real long time, man. But it's not like they would have remembered you anyway. Maybe they would have been like, Gordo! Whatever. In other news, Donald Trump. Oh, fuck. Donald Trump news. God damn it. I fucking love Donald Trump. I hope he wins president again. Yeah. People don't like that opinion, though. Whatever. They want to vote for fucking Joe Biden or that Gavin Newsom dude or the fucking... they all suck, man. The only reason I vote for Trump just because I want to fucking grief people. Easy. Federal judges reject Trump's immunity claims in 2020 election interference case. Oh, my God. No way, dude. Donald Trump is not immune from prosecution in his election interference case in Washington, ruled a federal judge on Friday, knocking down the Republicans' bid to derail the case, charging him with plotting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan's decisions amounts to a sharp rejection to the challenges that Trump's defense team have raised to the 4-count indictment in advance of the trial expected to center on the Republicans' multi-pronged efforts to undo the election won by Democrat Joe Biden. Oh, boy. He actually lost on that twice, I believe, is what I thought I heard. Is that there was like 2 different times that he actually had it on there. And I think there was actually a notebook I had somewhere around here that actually discussed that. But like, dude, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? So yeah, he's just not doing really good. And on top of that, he was apparently censured from talking about certain people related to the court. And then he just decided to start posting shit on True Social that the wife of the judge was posting. Like, so yeah, this is Dawn Marie DMs Seminix. This is the judge's wife. This is the judge's wife, I believe. Yeah. He'll never be in the White House again. He's headed to the big house. Judge Aragon's wife. This is the judge wife and family that are putting these things out. I am not entitled to a jury under the statute. Can this be happening in America? This is the most unfair trial in the history of New York. And I've had some pretty unfair fucking trials. What's that say? To Seb Gorka. Fuck Trump. Trump with the shaved head in prison. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't see how this judge could be at all, you know, in the middle on this one. I just don't see how that could be happening. But then again, it is La Luma that's putting all this stuff out, which, you know, she's been doing all right work lately. She's been doing some all right work lately. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, bro. It don't make a whole lot of sense. Anyways, goodbye. I feel like there's been a lot of folks that haven't really tried to figure out what the hell's happening in these cases anymore, but I figured I would just bring it up, show it to you, put it out there. Poor Trump. I mean, they really don't want him to be the president anymore, and they're really just trying everything to stop him. I mean, I hope he fucking wins just to be all like, you suck. You guys did all that shit. You talked all that shit. You still failed. But, you know, who really gives a shit what I fucking think, dude? Who gives a shit what I think? What the hell is this? Data for the U.S. Medicare and New Zealand Ministry of Health shows beyond a doubt COVID vaccines have killed billions. Oh, that's great. Awesome. Cool. But then, you guys remember Disease X? Well, I think it might be coming, folks.
Look, Mac, cases of
I think we might be hearing it.
Are on the rise
I think they're doing it again. It's happening again, motherfucker.
White lung syndrome.
NBC 10's Jericho Tran joining us live outside Tufts Medical Center to explain what this means. Jericho.
White.
Yeah, well, sometimes
Jericho Tran? What's up, babe?
doctors I
Hey, how you doing? I really like your buttons.
spoke with say that they are seeing more children with respiratory illness, but this white lung.
Although I'm not exactly sure of the match. She's got like the leather skirt with the black top and then that weird flashy pink. Like, girl, you couldn't like match it up a little bit or something like that. You know, the pink on the inside with the black jacket on the outside down. That would have really popped. But then, you know, if it was raining outside, we might have been able to see Chi-Chi's.
Syndrome that we're hearing of, well, they say it does not exist.
There's no such thing as white lung syndrome.
So what is white lung
There's no such syndrome?
Really, the news story here is that a scary headline will spread even faster than a virus.
Health officials
A scary
cases
what?
of pediatric
What?
pneumonia, white lung syndrome.
Oh,
after the Warren County Health District
pediatric
in Ohio
pneumonia.
experienced 142 pediatric cases of pneumonia since August.
Pneumonia shows up on an X-ray as a whitening.
Yeah,
of
white
the
lung
lung.
sounds kind of
That's all it is.
racist a little
The
bit.
symptoms don't indicate this is a new strain of pneumonia.
But then again, we have black
In fact,
lung
they're
disease
pretty
too,
common,
so
including a cough, fever, and fatigue.
It's
Not
pneumonia
everything's
that you
racist?
see during respiratory season.
But with respiratory infections in China increasing, medical experts are on high alert here in the U.S.
Across the United States and in China, what I would characterize as
Fuck.
situational awareness
Fuck.
of what
Not again,
infectious
man.
organisms are causing
I can't
which
do it.
cases of illness
Wait,
is generally
that'd be
poor.
fun,
In
probably.
Massachusetts, Dr. Shira
Just eat a
Derone,
lot
the
of
chief
soup.
infection control officer for Tufts Medical Health System, says respiratory infections aren't a huge concern so far this year.
Now, the different geographic regions. Where
Okay, so we're not going to have another fucking pandemic. Thank God.
Nowhere in our state are we seeing
Are we going to
actually
have
high
a
levels of
pandemic?
those
This girl dyes her hair so much. She's definitely a brunette, but she like wants to be fun, so she lightens it up.
respiratory infections.
You could definitely tell though by looking at them fucking brows, bro. Girl, look at how sexy this girl with her black eyebrows and her black ass hair. What's wrong with black hair? You don't like black hair, girl? What's your fucking problem?
Cases of pneumonia, which means that parents should still take precautions like washing their children's hands, keeping them home from school if they feel sick, and just practicing basic hygiene. That's the very latest in Boston. Jericho Tran, NBC 10 Boston.
Oh, wow. So yeah, new propaganda. People are freaking out about white lung syndrome. And where's it coming from? Twitter, Mario Narfall. Mario Narfall still around. The crypto scammer still hasn't gotten taken down, dude. Don't you just fucking love that shit? This dude could steal nearly $1 million, probably more. And you know, like, oh, I fucking say like one thing and I get booted. This is fucking stupid. But yes, the World Health Organization is quietly tracking data from a Chinese health surveillance system showing a rise in mysterious respiratory infections among children in northern China. The Chinese National Health Commission said on November 13 that there's a rise in cases across the country, and the WHO and Chinese officials claim it's due to the rise of the government lifting COVID restrictions. 9 days later, on November 22nd, the WHO looked into media reports of pockets of undiagnosed pneumonia in hospitals in Beijing, Liaoning, and other locations across China. The WHO then asked for more epidemiological data to determine whether they were isolated or generalized cases, fearing that a pandemic could be at hand. The next day, the WHO holds a remote meeting with Chinese officials to discuss concerns. China claimed nothing was out of the ordinary. The mysterious mycoplasma pneumonia has already spread to the US, Canada, Netherlands, Denmark, France, Ireland, with more US states reporting cases by the hour. Is this deja vu? This is nearly identical to the events leading up to the COVID-19 pandemic and increases in cases. Chinese government assurances everything is fine. Denial. Is the world overreacting? Are the governments and health organizations hiding something more serious? Are we back to square one? The virus is spreading. It seems that there's no consensus among experts. More and more states are reporting cases, and Denmark and Canada now have cases. Are we headed for lockdown? Can the world's economy survive another freeze? The CDC dropped the ball with the Soviet COVID-19. What will they do with the new mystery illness? A little too late. Interesting. And yes,
it's referred to as. Well, you probably see the reports of respiratory infections among children in China spiking to alarming heights. That then,
I think we should be worried.
Flashbacks for some parents here in the U.S., with the worry being that the surge of sickness flooding Chinese hospitals is being driven by this new virus that could.
So why is everybody getting pneumonia?
Pandemic like COVID, but China is insisting no. It's just an overlap of common viruses that normally hit kids this time every year, and the World Health Organization agrees with that. CDC Director Mandy Cohen tampered fears as well, saying there's no evidence of a new pathogen that could threaten the U.S. But infections are rising among some children in certain states. Massachusetts is now joining Ohio, reporting a spike in cases of child pneumonia. It's referred to as white lung syndrome, and health officials say we could be seeing more of it.
I wouldn't be surprised is that there's you're going to see outbreaks throughout the country. It's the time of year. Rather than a cause for concern, it's something to allow us to remember that we do have ability to try to decrease the likelihood of some of the infections. Now, despite these reassurances from experts, we have seen Republican Senator Marco Rubio calling for an immediate travel ban between the U.S. and China until more is known. For more on all of this, let's go.
Wow. They want to do a travel ban already from China? Holy shit, bro. Isn't that a little xenophobic? Is that what it's supposed to be? Xenophobic? And it makes me actually think about this, which is why I'm really glad I found this piece right here from Dr. Simon Goddick. It says, Dr. Peter Hotez, the guy that was, I guess pivotal some way inside of the COVID-19, he actually was saying on Fox News not that long ago that there might be another disease that's going to be on its way, and they were calling it Disease X. It was the disease that they really couldn't plan for, but they could just at least try to predict what could possibly be coming next. And, well, is that it? Is this what we're talking about?
Make the height of the COVID-19 outbreak look mild. That's what some experts are predicting. For
why is it only targeting children?
So I am very worried that we just don't. We as a nation.
This guy's fucking doing a.
To really
in the car, bro? What the fuck?
We caught up with internationally recognized Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine at Baylor and co-director of the Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development, Dr. Peter Hotez, who's traveling to get his take on the topic.
We have a likelihood that new pandemic threats.
They just talked over him half the shit he was saying.
Rising on a regular basis.
And Dr. Hotez says Disease X, the next pandemic, could hit hard whenever it arrives. Why do you think some experts are predicting the next pandemic will make COVID-19 look like a walk in the park?
I've written about this as well. I wrote for the Houston Chronicle a couple of months back that COVID-19.
Oh yeah, he wrote about it.
The next pandemic may not be as severe, but it could be much more severe.
After years of pandemics popping up, including SARS and H1N1 early in the 2000s.
Ebola in 2014, we had Zika in 2016, and now we've got COVID-19.
Dr. Hotez says that's why the U.S. Office of Pandemic Preparedness was created, but he believes more should be done.
Having the funds available to make countermeasures for new diagnostics, new vaccines, and at the same time, being able to support the virologists, the scientists who actually study these pathogens.
Why are we seeing so many pandemics?
It's one of the most common questions I'm asked.
Yeah, why is he doing an interview from his car, number one, and number two? Who the fuck is driving?
It's a confluence of 20.
Who the fuck is driving that car? Is he driving in a Tesla? This can't be safe. People used to yell at me for fucking live streaming in the car, and I wasn't even fucking looking at the car. He doesn't look like he's taking his eyes off the camera, so I hope he's not driving.
But scientists say it is coming.
That's right. Scientists said that it is coming, so now people are starting to be a buzz about this new thing. I mean, I don't have any perfect information on it, but it is one of the things that I be seeing all over the fucking place where people be talking about it, being all like, dude, there's a new pandemic that's coming out, we gotta worry about this shit. People are gonna die, motherfucker. And if the big accounts are talking about it, then maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there to it, right? Just in a mystery wave of pneumonia reaches America and the Ohio with 142 inches of light lung syndrome in children. Classified as an outbreak amidst similar cases in China and Europe. Ohio is experiencing an unusually high rate of pneumonia cases in children, becoming the first state in the U.S. to report an outbreak similar to the one unfolding in China. In Warren County, about 30 miles north of Cincinnati, health authorities have reported 142 cases of the condition since August. Interesting. So, I don't know. You probably shouldn't smoke that much weed, but I just like to smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Anyways, wow. What I have to say is wow. Well, there's been other news that has been kind of weird. I don't know if this is even, hitting the little thing, but how often do two planes crash, one right after the other, basically at the same time, because two Embraer EMB-120 Brasilia planes crashed in Tanzania on the same day at the same airport after problems with their landing gear? Two planes. Two planes crashed. Problems with their landing gear. What the fuck? I have no idea what that dude's saying. No fucking idea. No idea. In other news, scientists predicted that the 2024 solar maximum will disrupt the world's internet for weeks. What? How am I supposed to play Star Citizen then? Fuck you. Can't be real. But yes, the Earth is expected to face powerful solar storms as scientists predict the arrival of the solar maximum in 2024, and solar flares are projected to be potent enough to disrupt the world's internet for weeks on end. Roughly every 11 years, the sun experiences something called solar maximum. During this time, peculiar dark spots called sunspots show up on its surface. These sunspots, sometimes grouping together like islands, happen due to big shifts in the sun's magnetic field, and they can release powerful bursts of energy leading to solar storms that might harm satellites and mess with the internet. So yeah, if you're a Starlink user, you might lose your internet next year when the Black Swan event happens and all the fucking satellites and shit start falling through the sky like the fucking sky is falling. Or, you know, nothing could happen or whatever. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. Anyways, the latest prediction from a group of Indian researchers that differs from NASA's recent forecast expects it to happen in late 2025. NASA is saying it's going to happen in 2024. Dr. Defango Nadi, a physicist for the ICER Kolkata Center of Excellence in Space Sciences in China, led a new study. According to him, it's too soon to tell how strong the effect of the solar storms are going to be, but we'll likely find out more as the new year gets closer. The most intense solar storms can result in catastrophic orbital decay of low-orbiting satellites and disruption of satellite-based service communications and navigational networks. And to think about this is we haven't been using satellites for like that long, but they've been using them for long enough that this has actually been a problem in the past. And now with so many satellites up there, it could be an even bigger problem, even though actually predicting space weather is extremely difficult because you just literally never know when the sun's going to do something. But just be aware. You might lose the internet for a couple of months. Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. Oh, it's also being told that former United States troops that were punished for rejecting vaccinations are now suing the Biden administration for billions of dollars in lost wages. And I hope they get it. I hope they get it. In another more interesting turn of events, Amazon, that company that you probably buy everything from now, takes on ChatGPT, and the chatbot or the chat giant has launched a rival chatbot called Q. That's right. There is now an artificial intelligence owned by Amazon called Q. Not Q Star, just Q. And the QAnoners went insane. And they said they called it Q, which may be a reference to the ingenious tech boffin in the James Bond films. It says Q was designed for employees in fields such as IT, software, customer service, and more. It lets workers ask questions that are specific to their companies. Among its skills in summarizing meetings, explaining programming code, and locating information from hundreds of company documents, Q comes after Elon Musk announces his own sarcastic AI bot called Grok that will be integrated within X, formerly known as Twitter. Ah, yes. Another Q AI approaches, and I'm sure that dude that was saying Q was an AI and he was from the future, what was his name? Or whatever, he's getting a fucking huge boner right now. And good for him and his huge boner. Yeah. What is this? The U.S. military and the U.K. contractors created a sweeping plan for global censorship in 2018. What the fuck? U.S. military Pablo Brewer, U.K. defense researcher Sarah Jane Herp, and Chris Krebs, former director of the United States Department of Homeland Security and Infrastructure Agency, DHS CISA, said something. But a whistleblower has come forward with a explosive trove of documents rivaling or exceeding the Twitter files or the Facebook files in scale of importance. They describe activities of an anti-disinformation group called the Cyber Threat Intelligence League, or CTIL, that officially began as a volunteer project of data scientists and defense and intelligence veterans whose tactics over time appear to have absorbed into multiple official projects, including those of the Department of Homeland Security. The CTI League documents offer the missing link answers to key questions not addressed in the Twitter files or Facebook files. Combined, they offer a comprehensive picture of the birth of the anti-disinformation sector, or what we have labeled the censorship industrial complex. The whistleblower documents describe everything from the genesis of modern digital censorship programs to the role of the military and intelligence agencies, partnerships with civil society organizations and commercial media, and the use of sock puppet accounts and other offensive techniques. Lock your shit down, explained one document about creating your spy disguise. Another explains while such activities overseas are typically done by the CIA and NSA and the Department of Defense, censorship efforts against Americans have to be done using private partners because the government doesn't have legal authority. Whistleblowers also allege that the leader of the CTI League, a former British intelligence analyst, was in the room in the Obama White House in 2017 when she received instructions to create a counter-disinformation project to stop a repeat of 2016. Over the year, public, congressional investigators, and others have documented the rise of the censorship industrial complex, a network of over 100 government agencies and non-governmental organizations that work together to urge censorship by social media platforms and spread propaganda about disfavored individuals, topics, and whole narratives. And yes, remember, we were one of those individuals that fell upon the list that was censored by these people, which is why we lost our Twitter and YouTube and whole that other shit. All the while, still trying to help these fucking cocksuckers. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Think about that. Emails from CISA's NGO and social media partners show that CISA created the Election Integrity Partnership in 2020, which involved the Stanford Internet Observatory and other U.S. government contractors. The IP and its successor, the Virality Project, urged Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms to censor social media posts by dozens of ordinary citizens and elected officials alike in the name of protecting the oligarchy. Despite the overwhelming evidence of government-sponsored censorship, it is yet to be determined where the idea for such mass censorship came from. In 2018, an SIO official and former CIA fellow, Rene DeRista, generated national headlines before and after testifying to the U.S. Senate about the Russian government interference in a 2016 election. But what happened between 2018 and spring of 2020? The year 2019 has been a black hole in the research of the censorship industrial complex to date. When one of us, Michael, testified to the U.S. House of Representatives about the censorship industrial complex in March this year, the entire year was missing from his timeline. Interesting, isn't it? An earlier start date for the industrial censorship complex? Well, you gotta love that, don't you? Think about that. A large trove of documents released, including strategy documents, training videos, presentations, internal messages, reveal that in 2019, U.S. and UK military and intelligence contractors led by former UK defense researcher Sarah Jane Turp developed a suite censorship framework, and these contractors co-led CTIL, which partnered with CISA until spring of 2022. In truth, the building of the censorship industrial complex began even earlier than 2018. Internal Slack messages show Turp and her colleagues and officials from DHS and Facebook all working closely together in the censorship progress. The SIL framework and the private model are seeds of what both the US and UK would put in place in 2020 and 2021, including making censorship within cybersecurity institutions and counter-disinformation agendas. A heavy focus on stopping disfavored narratives, not just wrong facts, and pressuring social media platforms to take down information or take other actions to prevent content from going viral. Wow. the control freak complex. You know, like what all of a sudden everybody was wondering why censorship got crazy and easy, and this is all wrapped up within the IARPA project that we looked at, because this is part of exactly what they were trying to do in no uncertain terms. So kind of crazy. I want to see all of these documents, but I mean, looking at them talking about their COVID-19 CTL league, oh wow, they were actually doing it in a little Slack channel. That's pretty crazy. I wonder why they blacked out certain spots on there. What does that say? Wow. Can you just believe that shit? The information environment. Countermeasure frameworks. Rebunking. Humorous counter narratives. Smart content with ridicule. Decelerants. Expire social media. Likes and tweaks. Influencer disavows misinfo. Cut off banking access. Dampen emotional reaction. Remove rate limit botnet. Social media amber alerts, etc. Pump priming, micro-target likely targets with counter message, train journalistic counter influence moves, tools and transparency and literacy followed by channels, ask media not to report false info, repurposes images with counter information, engage payload and debunk and diffuse fake expert credentials, don't engage with payloads, hashtag jacking, channel selection, rate limit engagement, to redirect searches away from disinfo, honeypot, fake engagement system, bot to engage and distract trolls, strengthened verification methods, verified IDs to comment or contribute to polls, whitelist, revoke whitelist or verified status. Wow, this is all stuff that happens to me constantly. Wow, holy shit. Persistence, DCMA takedown requests, spamming domestic actors through lawsuits, seize and analyze botnet servers, poison monitoring and evaluation data, bomb link shorteners with calls, add random links to network graphs. Wow. Censorship industrial complex, volunteer and former government agents. Wow. The Hive, created by S.J. Terp, Obamagate, Amber, S.J. Terp, May 10, 2020. Wow. Holy shit. And it looks, this is exactly what we were fucking. Oh my God. It's fucking Create, bro. They just changed the name. Oh my God. I fucking helped test the shit. And they used it on me. These motherfuckers. Oh my God. That's how they fucking roll, bro. No way. No way, bro. Hogwarts School of Misinformation. Get from alerts to actions. Disinformation incident process. Alerting. Human. Groups. Feed. Slack. Incident. Go. No go. Organization and analysis. Hive. Incident task analysis. Collection. DCAD. Incident background data. GitHub. Incident data. MSP. Incident object. Slack. Reporting. Countering. And we got Frank code for enrichment. So they literally thought that they were superheroes in their own story and taking people down. Wow. No more lockdowns. They even were making posters and shit, and they got evidence of all of it. Oh my God, dude. And that's from Public.gov by Matt Taibbi. The censorship industrial complex. They thought they were so fucking smart that they would never get fucking caught. And now they're fucking owned. So yeah, just remember them faces right there. That one particularly in the middle, good old Terp. She is one hard bitch. She is one hard bitch. But probably one of the easiest ones out of the entire bunch to manipulate. So this is definitely going to be pulling her thumb screws, if you know what I mean. Woo! I can't believe it. It's insane. It's insane. What else could be more insane? I don't know. Senator Dick Durbin blocking Senator Marsha Blackburn's request to subpoena Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs. Yo, Dick Durbin, did you fly? Were you an associate? Did you fly on Jeffrey Epstein's plane or some shit? Like, what the fuck, bro? Why are you blocking that, dude? Like, everybody wanted that. You're blocking it. You're blocking it. Honestly, Dick Durbin, you got some fucking explaining to do, my brother. You got some explaining to do, Dick. You got some fucking explaining to do, Dick. What are you talking about? The baggie that the cops didn't see? I don't know about the baggie the cops didn't see. Woo! Tariq Johnson. Update. I spoke to my lawyer and told them what my plans are as it relates to releasing information on X about the J6 setup and cover-up that I ensued after. I wanted to see if any legal ramification I'd be facing when I do, and he stated that he didn't see anything, and if something arose, we would deal with it together. So it's a go. What I said is for everyone to be patient. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make another post I load to the 12-hour radio run to my page. Additionally, I'm not a tech person, so I have to learn how to load large documents and audio files from my computer to X, so I'm going to need a little more time. I still have to work in the middle of all of this, and I'm dealing with family stuff at the same time, but you have my word. You will get everything by next week, hopefully by Wednesday. Oh. Cool. Tariq Johnson, former lieutenant of the U.S. Capitol Police, is apparently going to be coming forward and dropping a massive update about what happened to him and what he believes went down, which is kind of interesting. And what they're saying is if Tariq has something of substance to release, every J6er and family should be pissed. If he doesn't, this wait for it. We are about to release the Kraken thing for over a year has been done and people will be pissed. Yep. So, Tariq, I hope you put something out there that's good, because if you fuck this one up, man, I'm going to be here. In other news, there's still a war going on in Israel versus Hamas or whatever. And it was revealed today by the New York Times that Israel knew about Hamas's attack plan for more than a year. That's right. The blueprint reviewed by the Times laid out the attack in detail, and Israeli officials dismissed it as aspirational, ignored specific warnings. What? Ah, yes. Israeli officials obtained Hamas's battle plan for the October 7th terrorist attack more than a year before it happened. Documents, emails, and interviews show, but the Israeli military and intelligence officials dismissed the plan as aspirational, considering it too difficult for Hamas to carry out. The approximately 40-page document, which Israeli authorities codenamed Jericho Wall, outlined point by point exactly the kind of devastating invasion that left to the deaths about 1,200 people. The translated document, which was reviewed by the New York Times, did not set a date for the attack, but described a methodical assault designed to overwhelm the fortifications around the Gaza Strip and take over Israeli cities and storm key military bases, including a division headquarters. The Hamas blueprint followed the blueprint to a shockingly precision. The document calls for a large barrage of rockets at the outset of the attack, drones to knock out the security cameras, and automated machine guns along the border. Gunmen pour out to Israel en masse on paragliders, on motorcycles, and foot, which is exactly what happened on October 7th. The plan also included details about locations and sizes of Israel's military forces, communication hubs, and other sensitive information, raising questions about how Hamas gathered its intelligence and whether there were leaks inside the Israel security establishment. The document circulated widely among Israeli military and intelligence leaders, but experts determined the attack of that scale and ambition was beyond Hamas's capabilities. According to the documents and officials, it was unclear whether Prime Minister Netanyahu or other top leaders saw the documents as well. Ah, yes. Leave it up to the Israelis to fuck that shit up So yes, they knew that there was a possibility of an attack like this happening for a very, very long time. And they basically, I don't know, some people would consider this them letting it happen. And they let it happen because they just simply couldn't believe those animals had the ingenuity and ability to actually pull this one off. Well, Israelis, I guess you're not as smart as you thought you fucking were now, are you? No, you fucking not. But yeah, Israel knew about it. They did nothing to stop it. And the reason that they did nothing to stop it, which is, in my opinion, is pretty clear. They wanted it to happen because it would give them the ability to send 300,000 troops into Gaza, start bombing the shit out of it so they could restart their conquest or, removal of the Palestinians from the land that, they apparently own. Even though the last time I checked, it was the Palestinians. But whatever, dude. Whatever. So what do we really know? It's not possible to determine if anybody that was big, but they say in July, just 3 months before the attack, a veteran analyst with Unit 8200, Israel's signals intelligence agency, warned that Hamas had conducted an intense day-long training exercise that appeared to be similar to what was outlined in the blueprint. But the colonel in the Gaza division brushed off her concerns, according to encrypted emails viewed by the Times. I utterly refute the scenario as imaginary, the analyst wrote in email exchanges. The Hamas training exercise, she says, fully matched the content of the Jericho Wall. It is a plan designed to start a war, she said. It's not just a raid on a village. Officials privately conceded that the military taken these warnings seriously and redirected significant reinforcements to the south where Hamas attacked. Israel could have blunted the attacks or even possibly prevented them, but they did no such thing. Instead, the Israeli military was unprepared as the terrorists streamed out of the Gaza Strip, and it was the deadliest day in Israel's history. Besides all those days that they bombed all those children and shit. Every day is the deadliest day in Israel's history because they just keep killing more people. Israel's security forces have already acknowledged that they failed to protect the country, and the government is expected to assemble a commission to study the events leading up to the attack. The Jericho Wall document lays bare a year-long cascade of missteps that culminated in what officials now regard as the worst Israeli intelligence failure since the surprise attack that led to the Arab-Israeli War in 1973. Underpinning all these failures was a single, fatally inaccurate belief that Hamas lacked the capability to attack and would not dare to do so. That belief is so ingrained in Israeli government officials, they disregarded the growing evidence to the contrary and allowed this to happen to them. Crazy. Just got Mitch McConnell next. That's funny. Yeah, Meghan Markle's worse. Or Meghan McConnell? I don't know. So yeah, Israel knew about the attacks. And yeah, people are still rioting, bro. New York, baby! And you wonder why people are fucking rioting in the streets and shit. And you fucking wonder why people are fucking rioting in the goddamn streets. Now, I know I had some other stuff on here, didn't I, about Israel? Oh, yeah. Rocket attacks in the city of Sderot in southern Israel. This may be a possible end to the ceasefire. Uh-oh. Hamas preparation is finished, so the ceasefire ended. Yes, I'm sure that's what happened. But yes, Palestinian media reports Israeli artillery fire on northern Gaza now. It appears that the ceasefire has not been extended and they are bombing the shit out of the shit. Nice. Cool. Who slays it? They're not going to let Trump debate. They don't want to hear from him. What is this? Christ in New York. 94-year-old vet struggles to move on after nursing home evicts him and replaces him with migrants. The veteran and his daughter say the city is more worried about migrants than Americans. Yep. 94 years old, struggling to get moved anywhere, and you get evicted by a nursing home. Don't you just fucking love being American? What's this? Defending the Republic contains thousands of pages of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine records. Interesting. Defending the Republic. I wonder what that's got to be with all about. Tonight, House Republicans passed 4 bills. A freeze and $6 billion in Iranian prisoner swap funds. Bans on migrant housing on federal land. Requiring SBAIG to report on the COVID fraud. And requiring the SBA administration to issue guidance on handling return PPP loans.
One president. The bill is passed.
Legislation which prohibits federal funding to house undocumented immigrants on federal lands.
The yeas are 224, the nays are 203 with one voting present. The bill is passed.
H.R. 4666, a bill to require the Inspector General of the Small Business Administration to submit a quarterly report on fraud relating to certain COVID-19 loans.
In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed.
H.R. 4667, a bill to require the Administrator of the Small Business Administration to issue guidance and rules for leaders and the Small Business Administration on handling amounts of paycheck protection loans returned by borrowers.
In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed.
The rules are suspended. The bill is passed. Yep. Interesting. I wonder why they're all of a sudden making all this work happen. I don't know. By the way, if Google Maps ever sends you to the Mojave Desert, be suspicious. This is how AI is going to try to take you out. Yeah, if your fucking phone tells you to drive off of a dirt road, immediately stop. I saw that fucking episode of Doctor Who, and I ain't fucking with that shit, dog. Dr. Klaus Schwab, how the CFR taught me to stop worrying and love the bomb. What the fuck? Henry Kissinger? Oh yeah, dude. Did you guys hear that Henry Kissinger, Dr. Henry Kissinger, mass murderer or something like that? Child rape apologist? Wait, no, there was just a bunch of different things that people used to came from. Fan of human depopulation, bad individual, war criminal, member of the Bilderberg group, cocksucker, guy that helped finance Hitler. Anyways, he fucking died. That's right. Dr. Henry Kissinger, who wrote, depopulation should be the highest priority of U.S. foreign policy towards the third world. Research on population control, preventing future births is now being carried out secretly by biotech companies, blah, 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 blah. But yes, Kissinger, Henry Kissinger, former United States Secretary of State, has died. And you know what? All right. Fuck that guy. Yeah. Pink is hot. Pink is hot. What is this right here? The World Economic Forum was simply the brainchild of Klaus Schwab, but it was actually born out of the CIA-funded Harvard program headed by Henry Kissinger. My research indicates that the World Economic Forum is not a European creation. In reality, it is instead an operation which emanates from the policy grandees of the Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixonian eras of American politics, all of whom have ties to the Council on Foreign Relations and the associated Roundtable movement, with the supporting role played by the Central Intelligence Agency. I don't really have a comment on that. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but maybe we'll have to do a deep dive on Henry Kissinger. Representative Loudermilk confirms all videotapes from the January 6th committee depositions are gone. Yes, Barry Loudermilk, Republican of Georgia, says tape depositions of January 6th star witness Cassidy Hutchinson and other testifiers from the original Jan 6 Select Committee investigation are now missing. I wrote a letter to Bernie Thompson asking for them, and he confirmed that they did not preserve those tapes. He did not feel the need that they had to. The fuck? Rep. Loudermilk says, but according to House rules, you have to preserve any data and information and documents that are used in an official proceedings. But apparently, well, they didn't save them. They just fucking deleted them. Fantastic. I really wanted to watch those one day.
Just this past weekend, he was participating in a 3-hour X live stream podcast.
NASA didn't do the same thing with the moon landings. They said they accidentally overwrote the tapes because some dumbass that they hired that wasn't a fucking, rocket scientist or whatever fucking didn't know what they were. Whatever. We're going back to the moon. So you could be happy that we're going to be there again. And then, when they see the rover and shit, and then they're like looking at fucking what's his face's footprint and stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to fucking do nothing. That's what you're going to do. Oh, boy. And I think that's pretty much it for today. The last thing I have is this. Defend the children. Join us in the fight against child trafficking. Your voice makes a difference. Unaccompanied Children Program Foundational Rule Commenting Period. Huh. You wanted to fight the deed state? We're combating human trafficking together. We need your help. Use this webpage to go through, click these buttons, and fill all these comments out so that we can help make a change for the world. Wow. Cool. Cool, bro. I feel pretty good, though. I feel like we finally got down. We talked about some of the fucking news. We're doing all that good shit, and a reality is just like, what? Yeah, I think we're really in the situation where this shit's like fucking crazy, bro. This is a crazy day. It's a crazy life. It's a crazy place we live in. Just think about it. A new lockdown might be coming down. The election shit's getting even crazier. It's going to be a fun 2024, my friends. Good to be back with you, but it's time for me to go. I appreciate each and every single one of you that decided to come check us out for the evening, and I hope you hit that like button, subscribe, and you share this thing with your friends. And I guess eventually, tomorrow or so, we'll see you again. Either way, much love to you. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Much love. Adios. Bye-bye now. Now go home. Or like, what the fuck?